news updates on Ebonade 103.5 FM immediately after Angelus 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebonade FM breaks the news with actualities.
I believe that if we are looking for a new Nigeria,
you can as well listen online via mixlr.com/gistfm.
Good evening and welcome to Ebona at the 103.5 FM News Update. Today is Monday, the 16th day of January 2023, and the time is a minute past the hour of 6. Martin Ifan Shukwekeze is my name. The headlines. Soludo calls for release of Nnamdi Kanu. Mixed reaction trails removal of peterobi's campaign posters in Anambra. Enugu State Fire Service applauds Governor Ugwuanyi over donation of free fireball extinguishers. Fulani terrorists planning to invade Anambra. IPOB resists alarm. Group berates Imo Deputy Speaker for flaunting chieftaincy despite fraud case. Putin insists Ukraine war going according to plan despite major losses. Now, details. Soludo calls for release of Nnamdi Kanu. Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, has called for the immediate and unconditional release of the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. Soludo said he was ready to stand as a shorty for the secessionist leader if he is released to him, if the federal government finds it difficult to release him unconditionally. Soludo spoke of campaigns of the APGA party, which witnessed the presence of the presidential candidate of the party, Professor Peter Umadi, and other candidates of the party in the state and southeast. He said, I am making a passionate appeal to the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. If he cannot be released unconditionally, I want him released to me and I will stand shorty for him. We need Nnamdi Kanu in the roundtable conversation to discuss the insecurity in the southeast. We must end insecurity in the southeast and we need Nnamdi Kanu to be around, he stated. Some time ago, we set up the Truth and Reconciliation Committee to find out the root cause of insecurity in the southeast, and they have almost concluded their assignment. But this issue of insecurity cannot be well addressed without bringing to the table the key players in this matter. We have applied the kinetic and the non-kinetic approach to fighting insecurity in the southeast, but the non-kinetic approach cannot be complete without the federal government releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he said. We must bring him to the table because we need him to be part of this process, and I call on the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu to me for us to have a comprehensive discussion for the fate of the southeast, he declared. If we cannot release him based on the court process, I hereby offer myself as the shorty for his release, and whenever you want him, I will hand him over to you. We shall provide him shelter and we make display in the true belief in the spirit of peace in the southeast, he said. Politics 2023, mixed reactions trail removal of P2B's campaign posters in Anambra. Mixed reactions have continued to trail the removal of Labour Party's presidential candidate P2B's poster in Anambra State. The Labour Party alleged that the government of Anambra State has pulled down Obi's campaign billboards in strategic places in the state. The party accused the state governor Chukwuma Soludo of giving the order in that respect. A Labour Party chieftain told journalists that Obi and Ume's giant billboard at the Unizik temporal site flyover along the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway was pulled down at the weekend by the Anambra Signage and Advertising Agency, ANSA. He said the billboard at Unizik temporal site junction along Enugu-Onitsha Expressway was on Saturday removed on the orders of Soludo. However, the managing director of ANSA, Mr. Tony Ujubono, denied claims that the billboard was removed on the order of the state governor, Chukwuma Soludo. He said whatever was removed was due to a challenge we had with the agent that erected the board. Enugu State Fire Service applauds Governor Ugwuanyi over donation of free fireball extinguishers. In the past 7 years, the rate of fire incidents in Enugu State that would have resulted in serious economic disasters have been adequately curtailed by the State Fire Service, an agency under the State Ministry of Rural Development. The State Chief Fire Officer, Engineer Opudele Oha, reveals that the secret behind the success recorded by his agency in this direction is thorough revitalization and equipping of his agency with modern fighting trucks and other gadgets by Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi-led administration in addition to in-service training the government is offering to members of staff of the agency. In keeping with modern trends of firefighting, Engineer Oha disclosed that his agency has received a fresh supply of a total of 1,800 fireball extinguishers to be distributed among major markets in Enugu State. The fireball extinguishers will serve as immediate palliatives at any point in time there is any fire incidents before the arrival of fire service trucks with other firefighting equipment in those markets. His words, as one of the proactive measures of fighting fire outbreaks, fire prevention, control, and suppression in Enugu State this dry Harmattan season and beyond, Governor of Enugu State, Right Honorable Dr. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, has graciously donated fireball extinguishers worth millions of naira. Engineer Oha recalled that the efficient application of fire extinguishers by the traders halted fire outbreaks that would have resulted to great loss of wares and lives at Ogbete Main Market, Enugu on January 3rd, 2020 and October 16th, 2022, just as the same ugly fate was curtailed at Oba International Market, Udenu Local Government Area, Timbershed, and Soka, Afo, Akunanwa, etc., through effective use of the fire extinguishers provided by Governor Ugwuanyi and mounted in those markets. The Enugu State Commissioner for Rural Development, Dr. Kinsley Ude, who witnessed the distribution of the fireball extinguisher to the benefiting market representatives, expressed gratitude to Governor Ugwuanyi for revitalizing the state fire service and always updating them with modern tools in firefighting. He described fire disaster as very dangerous with emotional, economic, and social negative consequences on victims, his or her immediate family, and the nation generally. He advised the traders to trade with caution in usage of the fireball extinguishers, which are freely provided by Governor Ugwuanyi. Responding on behalf of the various market representatives, the chairman of Ogbete Main Market, Enugu, Chief Ikemba, commended Governor Ugwuanyi for the gesture, recalling that the initiative of raffle draw introduced by his administration has lifted many poor traders in the state out of abject poverty. The chairperson, Southeast Traders Association, Chief Mrs. Amaka Ozioko, in collaboration, said the Enugu State traders will reciprocate Governor Ugwuanyi's gestures by voting for a continuity of PDP-led administration in Enugu State, in expectation that his successor will maintain same cordial and welfarist relationship with traders in the state. Fulani terrorists planning to invade Anambra, IPOB raises alarm. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has raised an alarm over a planned invasion of Anambra State by Fulani terrorists. In a statement signed by its media and publicity secretary, Comrade Imma Powerful, the group claims that intelligence information at their disposal alerted them to the terrorist plans to attack the Nnewi and Oka communities of the state. It is said that the Fulani herdsmen trooping into the aforesaid communities and claim to be in town for business are actually terrorists coming for attacks. The statement reads in part, "We, the global movement and family of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, under the command and leadership of the great Mazi Nnamdi Okwuchukwu Kanu, wish to inform the people of Anambra State to get prepared for invasion of Fulani jihadists into their state. Intelligence information at our disposal has it that the Fulani herdsmen, the Fulani terrorists, aka herdsmen, chased out from Enugu State, mostly from Uji River Province, are trooping into Anambra to invade some unspecified communities there. Nnewi is in the heart of every righteous Igbo man and woman because it is the home of our internal leader, Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu," the statement declared. The group called on the governor and the people of Anambra State to be on alert to confront the invading terrorists who it claimed had perfected plans to attack the state. Group berates Imo Deputy Speaker for flaunting chieftaincy despite fraud case. A group under the aegis of Protect Democracy (PD) has severally castigated the Deputy Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Mr. Amarachi Iwanyanwu, for flaunting photos of his chieftaincy title despite an alleged corruption case hanging on him. Justice Inyang Ekwo of Abuja Division of the Federal High Court has directed the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), the Nigerian Police, the Department of State Services, the Nigerian Immigration Services, and the Interpol to arrest the lawmaker on site anywhere he is cited in Nigeria or outside Nigeria and produce him before the Honorable Court or to the EFCC headquarters, Abuja. The Director of Publicity of PD, Lawrence Nnamdi, in a statement on Saturday, described as embarrassing how the lawmaker flaunts photos of his chieftaincy title on social media. He recalled how the lawmaker recently posted on his Instagram handle pictures of him being conferred with chieftaincy title of the Amarachuku of Wangele by the 13 traditional rulers in the Wangele local government area of the state, though the petitioner in the case refused to comment on the conduct of the deputy speaker based on the fact on the legal excuse that the case is before the court. According to him, the Protect Democracy is irritated and angry at the inability of Honorable Iwanyanwu to live up to the dictates of his office and status in the society. Director of Publicity of the group said the order for Iwanyanwu's arrest was squirreled to an ex parte application dated November 14th, which the EFCC brought before the court through its lawyer, Mr. Olarewanju Adeola, in the application marked FHC ABJ CS 2124-2024. EFCC told the court that it got an intelligence that the lawmaker had since escaped from the country and is currently hiding in the United States of America, USA. The group said Honorable Iwanyanwu has been both in and outside Owerri legislative office, moving around freely and unhindered, flourishing with fellow politicians, while also refusing to take any concrete steps to vacate the court-ordered warrant arrest on him. The fraud case has been adjourned to February 2023 for hearing. Mr. Amarachi Iwanyanwu, who could not be reached on his mobile phone for a reaction. Now we move to the foreign scene. Putin insists Ukraine war going according to plan despite major losses. Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed that the war in Ukraine is proceeding within the plan despite many setbacks. Russia's current conflict in Ukraine began when its forces first entered the Eastern Europe country almost a year ago in late February. Since then, Russia has faced significant resistance from Ukrainian defenders and failed to meet its initial goals, including taking control of the capital city of Kyiv. Even its scale-back goals of annexing breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine have been fraught with trouble. As of January, Russian forces have reportedly lost around 110,000 soldiers in the conflict, though news cannot independently verify the precise number. Despite these issues, Putin has consistently pressed forward for the invasion and framed it as a fight for Russia's sovereignty. On Sunday, the Russian leader said during an interview with Pavel Zarubin for the state-run Rossiya 1 news channel that the special military operation in Ukraine was going according to the Kremlin's plan, as reported. The dynamics are positive, Putin said. Everything is developing within the plan of the defense ministry and the general staff, and I hope that our fighters will please us more than once again with the result of their combat work. Contrary to Putin's show of confidence on Sunday, recent analysis of the war effort claimed that Putin and the Russian government overall are aware of their increasingly dire standing in Ukraine. In a Wednesday intelligence briefing, the United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense said that the appointment of Russian Chief of the General Staff, Valery Gerasimov, as the new head of the country's military was a significant development in Russia's President Vladimir Putin's approach to managing the war. The deployment of the Chief of General Staff as theater commander is an indicator of the increasing seriousness of the situation Russia is facing and a clear acknowledgement that the campaign is falling short of Russia's strategic goals, the report stated. This is where we draw the curtain on news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. But before we leave, a quick look at the headlines. Soludo calls for release of Nnamdi Kanu. Mixed reactions trail removal of peterobi's campaign posters in Anambra. Enugu State Fire Service applauds Governor Ugwuanyi over donation of free fireball extinguishers. Fulani terrorists planning to invade Anambra, IPOB resists alarm. Group berates Imo Deputy Speaker for flaunting chieftaincy despite fraud case. Putin insists Ukraine war going according to plan despite measure losses. You just listened to news update on Ebona the 103.5 FM. News produced and read by Martin. Thank you for listening to Ebona the 103.5 FM news update. Once again, good evening.
Listen to news updates on Ebona the 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebona the FM breaks the news with actualities.
And believe that if we are looking for a new Nigeria,
You can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM. Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political view comes to you at Ebona the 103.5 FM with Martin Ifeanyi Shukwu every Monday 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebona the 103.5 FM on